Hey, what's up? It's Dominic DeAngelo. I'm a Brass Ring Media. Today is August 26, 2025. I am live here on brassringmedia.com on the YouTube channel. So check it out. If you're not there, go to brassringmedia.com and hit subscribe, hit like, share it out. You get the word out about this channel. We got some great content on here from Zach Cador and Ashley Mann, Robert with his Nocturnal Knockout, and plenty more interviews. I just interviewed Kip Sapien last week, and hopefully some more stuff to come when it comes to interviews and everything is like that too. Also, be sure to sign up for onlywrestlers.com. Go to onlywrestlers.com. So much cool talent on there. RVD and Katie Forbes's venture that they do live shows with the talent that is a part of the Only Wrestlers community. So upcoming will be one in San Antonio. So you can plan in advance for that. They've had shows in Los Angeles, Chicago, New Orleans. And so they plan to make their way back to Chicago as well. But all you have to do is sign up for an account for free. Just create your account for free. And there's plenty of accounts you can subscribe to for free, including Rob Van Dam, including Katie Forbes. There's other names like Brian Cage, Tessa Blanchard, Violent J, Charlie Haas, Matt Riddle. All are on onlywrestlers.com. You can sign up now and be early in on the forefront of it all. So be sure to do that. And wanted to follow up regarding the podcast episode I had yesterday with Rob, RVD, One of a Kind with RVD. It's up now at rvdtv.com, the full episode and the clip where we go into detail discussing the Raja Jackson attack on Psycho Stu, a.k.a. Stuart Smith. So positive news is that the GoFundMe for Stuart Smith has blown up big time, like really big time. Jericho, as usual, he donates and helps the cause. He donated $2,500 to the cause. And then I believe I mentioned on yesterday's episode with, yesterday's episode with Rob that Mr. Beast, the big time YouTube streamer, super popular YouTube streamer, donated $10,000 to the cause. And so I'm trying to pull up where they're at. Wow, look at this. Okay, I'm going to share my screen actually. Let's see. Share screen. Window. Boom. All right, take a look at this. It is over $103,908. The new goal is $110K for Stu. You can see right there, Mr. Beast top donation is of $10,000. James McRae donated $2,500. Chris Jericho, $2,500. An anonymous donation of $1,348. That was 2 hours ago. And hey, look at this. Jack Perry donated $1,000 to Stu. So very, very cool. Seeing if there's any Stefan Strickland. I'm pretty sure that's Swerve. Is that Swerve? $1,000. Kenda Hansen. Shout out to a lot of these people donating their money to them. Miro donated $500 as well. Kristaps Porzingis, famous NBA player, donated $500. Aria Davari, $500. Wow, cool. Cesar Bonini donated $500. So very, very cool. Awesome to see all that come into fruition and everything. So yeah, that's the good stuff when it comes to such a unfortunate situation and sad situation. But okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, Universal is Swerve. So Universal Stefan is Swerve. So thank you for clarifying that. What's up, Maria? Shout out to you. How's it going? But yeah, wanted to just address a lot of like the media reaction to some of this stuff. So first off, let me say this. Like when it came to Rob making the initial tweet, came to talk about this on the podcast. And that's the tweet that got a lot of buzz, obviously. And so Rob did clarify and make his stance known about how he feels about the whole situation. And me personally, I thought it was a great diplomatic response that looked at it from the side of how this all got perpetuated. Rob was not defending Raja whatsoever. He was not defending his actions or anything like that. He just saw how that all came to fruition. Now, people online have been like, "Oh, you're supporting and justifying a alleged, murder attempt or assault, and how dare you do that stuff?" Rob was not doing that. Rob basically said what he felt and how you could see from the perspective of what was being filmed, the attitude and mindset that this non-wrestler had of the situation going on, how oblivious, clueless, mentally unstable it seems that he was to get put to that level in an environment that is pretty careless, that it looks like. All these talents, a lot of these talents on camera showed their disregard and their negligence for the betterment of Stu and the thought process for how they should have handled Raja. And Rob said it too yesterday. Raja should not have been in the ring. Raja should not have done any of that stuff. Considering several factors, considering that he's not a wrestler, considering that he doesn't know the business, considering that there was a heated argument or a heated exchange on his side to Stu after what seemed to be like Stu thought to be a worked angle. And then he apologized for it. But still, the only way that Raja accepted that apology was knowing that he would legit get a receipt on Stu. So, so just the explanation of Rob going into that and saying how this all he wasn't justifying it. Nobody was justifying it yesterday. And things took a turn for the worse in a really, really bad way. So, but nonetheless, you still see on social media that people want to condemn and say like that Rob is supporting, the whole thing, defending Rob, and like, no, it's not the case at all. Go back if you want and check out the episode I wrote about it on my blog. I did the transcription of some of the quotes that I thought were pertinent to what Rob was saying and what he meant by got his back, and when we get that clarification, obviously this makes more sense into, it's not a defense. I think he should go to jail, Raj. I think he should. I think what he did was awful and there's no excuse for it. Jail time. It's happened. And like the other aspect is too, people are being like, people are calling him a kid. Legally, he's not a kid. He is an adult and he should be tried as an adult. But I'm saying from the mindset of this person, this individual, he's got the brain of a kid. He's got the brain of a kid and mental instability. Men mature a lot slower than women a lot of the times. Your brain is not fully developed until you're about 25. Sometimes it takes longer for some people. I know it took longer for me. Not defending Raja whatsoever. But I do think he has the brain of a kid and a kid that has arrested development and a lot of mental and emotional issues going on. So there is no way he should have been put himself or been put in that situation to have this all go down and occur. So Maria, she says what Raja Jackson did is unforgettable. No place for it. And I agree. It's unforgivable. It's awful to see what happened and everything like that. Yes, what he did is unforgivable. He violated the wrestler's safety code. Yeah, I mean, and so did the talent around him. AJ Mana trying quick to defend himself and say, "Hey, I was in character." No, bud, you weren't. You were not in character. Okay, you were perpetuating the situation because you were buddies with Raja. You wanted to make him look good, therefore, in turn, making yourself look good. And guess what? It did not happen. And you are getting the proper feedback for it. Good luck, man. Like, you don't deserve to be in this business. Pretty sure there's a reason you haven't gotten farther in this business. And that's a perfect example of what happened there. So, but just a lot of from what you get. I mean, I've seen other things. What other things have been said too? What Mark Henry said. I gotta disagree with Mark on what he said. Regarding the situation. I don't think that his take. If you haven't, let me pull up the quote just so I'm good on this. Mark Henry. Type in Roger there. I'm sure that'll pop it up. Okay. So this is what Mark Henry says. I want to make sure I cover this in the right manner here. Henry explained, as a more experienced entertainer, Psycho Stu should have been more mindful when interacting with that kind of fashion when somebody who's obviously new to the wrestling world. You've got to be careful one, who you're messing with, and two, what kind of example are you as a veteran inciting a riot with a kid? Yeah, again, like, not technically a kid. A lot of people refer, when you're an older age, you do refer to somebody like that as a kid. So I think to parse hairs with how Henry terminologized that doesn't really necessarily do anything. Henry added that he believes Stu ultimately bit off more than he could chew. Now, that's where I disagree with Mark. I mean, because there's no place for it. There's no place for what transpired in the ring. It should never have gotten to that point where Raja was maybe even in attendance for that. Like, he should have just been gone. Obviously, that situation escalated to a point where Raja got smashed with the beer can, did not like it, and then even after Stu apologized, it was only until they made the offer that he could get his receipt in the ring is when Raja was okay with it. Okay, so this is also what Henry said. Henry thinks Raja should have held back, noting that Rampage's kid needed to have enough respect for the business and control his anger, but he made it clear he thinks the whole situation could have been avoided if Stu has tweaked his behavior first. If indeed what I saw was what I saw, which is people before the show during the day and time drinking and intoxicated or partially intoxicated, you bust a bottle over some guy's head and talk trash like that, the guy was not going to do anything yet. You're at fault. I'm just going to say, too, I just think, though, the aspect that Stu apologized. And, yeah, Stu is not ultimately at fault in this. He isn't. I think the fact that, that escalated a situation that was unnecessary. The apology came through, and he was at fault for how it all started, but the outcome and the ending of it was not his fault. That was Raja's fault. That was the promotion's fault, and the wrestlers that helped perpetuate that situation's fault. Stu had nothing to do with that at that point, in my opinion. Fernando, hello. What's up, Fernando? I agree with you, Derek. The whole thing was a mess. Whole thing was a mess indeed. Sorry, it should have been over there, and I'm completely with you on that. What should have happened is they've been like, okay, man, I'm sorry, handle, if you want to take further action, like with Stu in regards to legal issues or getting police involved, which they wouldn't want to do. But I mean, like, I would apologize profusely on behalf of the promotion, not just Stu, but the wrestlers. Look, he didn't know. He had maybe a couple beers. Not a good situation. We're really, really sorry. Let's get you out of here. And, but we can't have you do anything in the ring. Even if something was planned beforehand, which it didn't seem like there was. It seemed like, and that's me kind of speculating here, but it just didn't seem like there was. It seemed like this maybe got stuff transpired a little bit more for him to get in the ring. And maybe AJ Mana's intent, this is all speculation, AJ's Mana intent was to get Raja involved in some capacity where, hey, I'm going to get the rub from Raja Jackson, Rampage Jackson's son, because I'm buddies with him. So he's going to come out and make me look good. And so then AJ Mana wants to have this pissing contest of some sort, like, hey, excuse me, look at what I got. And I am building up the promotion and I'm building up myself in turn. I'm looking like a biggest star in this grand scheme of things. So yeah, I don't like So that was an aspect I wanted to cover. Let me make sure I covered all of Mark Henry's quotes. So according to TMZ, this is posted. Now I just want to make sure it's all laid out here. This was posted at like 9, 10, almost 10 a.m. here, this article. Stu went to the hospital for treatment on his injuries, and his brother said Monday the wrestler is conscious and currently resting. So cops do say, meanwhile, the police report was filed, and detectives are investigating the matter. So there is that, too. Also wanted to say, I noticed polarizing media figure Jason Whitlock actually had this as a topic on his show, Fearless. And his take, I think, pretty misinformed in regards to, some of the stuff, like he said, I do believe was accurate to an extent in like some of the mentality and some of that desperate kind of demographic that does get involved in the wrestling from a talent standpoint sometimes. But ultimately, like some of the stuff he was saying was just a little off base. And I don't, so one of the aspects that I think that wasn't necessarily like on par was just basically kind of what he thought was the intent of all this, creating racial division. And that is not the case in this. This is just a situation where, yeah, it happens to be two different races being involved. And like to think, and he kind of thought that this was all a big work in regards to that. Even maybe possibly Stu was allowing himself to get assaulted. So all this could ultimately be a big payoff for him. And maybe this will be like a redemption story for Raja later on, even if he's got to do the time. That's not the case in this. Like this, it was a way off base take. Let me just put it that way, where it's just not on top of things. Because number one, KnockX Pro here was a WID program. Boom, they lost their WID badge right after this happened. So if you're doing that, you're going against the promotion in regards to what the ultimate goal is to build up this promotion and make it feel like a big deal. And then number two, for the fact that Raja clearly stated, I believe, in the video that he's not a fan of wrestling. Clearly, he doesn't know about wrestling. Does he want fame? Does he want to look legitimate? Well, he seems to have this certain impression of pro wrestling that is not very favorable. And so for that to happen, he is probably not that desperate to get involved in the business. Now, there was a clip of him saying like how he doesn't have money, his dad has money. So that could have been a motivation for him. But like I just find that such a stretch to believe all that this is a way for everybody to benefit from. Because guess what, the promotion isn't benefiting from this. Other ones are protecting their ass. I think things got haywire. Now maybe some of this to an extent was an orchestrated work on the promotion's end, but I don't think this is going to be the case where like, hey, we're going to get make sure that's I just don't see Stu being involved. It's just I don't think it was a fair take. And I don't think maybe there's even enough information to make a very, very solid assessment. It seemed pretty wild. I tuned into that because I saw the image of Raja on there, and I was like, oh, let's see what Jason has to say. And I don't know about it. Universal says, saw what happened. Dude needs to learn how to hold back your punches. He was shooting. Don't know if the guy was cracked up, but he sure looks like it. If this guy was cracked up, no, I don't think he was on drugs. He was concussed. Not that that's an excuse, but he was fired up. He was rage baited the whole day, basically, after it happened. Like he was live streaming when he got smashed in the head with a can. People were calling him like a bitch and all that kind of stuff. And like definitely getting under his skin, like, oh, I should have done something. Why didn't I do something, stand up for myself? So once he gets the note that he's going to get a receipt and he can, take his liberties, out on Stu, and then like somebody's going to pull him off. Like he had his own intention at that point, and and was going to go off script because he was given permission to go off script and should not have been given permission. And then he was going to take even more liberties with going off script, and that's what he did, and that's what happened, and it's awful and unfair and sad. Yes, Fernando, it's unfair to blame Stu for anything. I completely agree. No, I don't think anybody trained him. He probably had zero wrestling training, Universal, like zero in regards to all that stuff. Universal also had clearly not a work. No one in the biz throws punches like that in a wrestling ring. Right. I needs to grow up. He needs to pay his dues. These guys go to prison, in my opinion. I'm just not with it. I don't like, there's no reason for that. And that's straight up assault, I think. Is there anything else I wanted to cover when it comes to the media? Yeah. I have a colleague in the wrestling media too. John Alba happened to say, make a post on X here. Let's see here. John Alba, who I'm friends with, he does the Matt Hardy podcast. He also works for SNY. Let me see if I can find what he said. He had some things to say, which I agree with him on in a certain realm. And this is the part I agree with him on. The Raja Jackson incident shines an ugly light on how many in wrestling industry live in the bubble. It's pretty cut and dry. Jackson should be facing assault charges, and the promotion should face liability. No quote-unquote brother, and quote-unquote protect the business or quote-unquote receipts. The fact there was a pin finish as a guy was literally at risk of dying on the mat and that people were cutting promos about it is a horrendous reflection of the industry. If you disagree with any of that, you're on the wrong side of history. He says it's an industry literally built on a lie. Objects in the mirror are closer than they appear. Sex pests get fifth chances. Performers take advantage of each other. Promotions take advantage of them. Incidents like this are totally preventable, but it's a bubble. I'm not hopeful. This could be a wake-up call. I agree with what John said here. And Stevie Richards kind of made this point too, that look, it is a bubble. Wrestling has been pretty blessed for the most part to not have a severe, crazy incident like this happen up until now because of the bubble that wrestling people live in when it comes to, hey, everybody's in on this idea of how this all works. And this guy is too. This 25-year-old man who's got some issues is also in on this. There is that dynamic of like, it's a weird industry that is certainly was based off the carnival grounds. So there is that. And I agree with John on that. Let's see. Fernando, I'm going to just get a couple quotes before I go up next. Universal adds, I do fault the referee and other wrestlers for not jumping in sooner. I do. I fault the promotion. So wrestlers, if you're in a part of an independent promotion like this one is, they're not used to seeing legit. I mean, some fights legit go down, but like for it to actually unfold and transpire in the ring, there's that element of shock, I think, where it comes into play. Like the referee could have been just a student, could have been like inexperienced at breaking up fights. Lots of different stuff going in on there, not to excuse any of that. But I do think it's a unfortunate situation that you throw somebody into something like that and that they're not used to. They're going to be in this moment of like, what the F is going on and stuff like that. Not that it's an excuse. I agree with you that, there should have been other wrestlers jumping in sooner, especially those punches. Could have been a big shock factor too with that going on into play at the same time. And not an excuse, but just kind of like looking at it from that regard. But yeah, it would be it was really unsettling sight and everything to that effect too. And so I don't I don't like watching it even. It's tough for me to watch. Um, Fernando asks, do you think it's fair for the entire promotion to lose the ID badge for the actions of one guy? Just asking. Yes, I do. I do. Especially because the promotion perpetuated it, allowed him to go out there, didn't properly coach him, shouldn't have even been coached in the first place because he shouldn't have even been in the ring. So, yes, I do think it's fair for the entire promotion to lose the ID badge. WWE's trying to build a respectable brand of talents, and they're trying to make this ID program feel like a legitimate thing. And if you have this kind of stuff going on, where people are drinking backstage at point, and this kind of stuff transpires behind the scenes where the live stream is, this kid doesn't know, kid doesn't know what's going on, and is getting heated up and then getting fired up enough and losing control of himself in the ring to attack somebody like the way he did. Yes, they definitely should have lost their ID badge, and they did. It should have happened. Promoter is ultimately liable as he brought him in. Yeah. Yes, and Universal adds, Fernando, yes, don't do stupid things, and you keep it. If you do stupid things, say bye-bye for the ID, common sense. The boss, is Rampage Jackson tarnishing his own legacy with this saga? I think, it is his son. So I think that, the family dynamic, to what people are saying, like, that's his son. So indirectly, it hurts. Yeah, I think in some view it does hurt his reputation. But also too, I mean, if you're looking at it from all sides of the coin here, that Raja is an adult, but at the same time too, it seems like Raja and Rampage still have a close relationship. Now, if you've seen other videos with them too, I was sent a clip of them, 11-minute clip of them a couple of days ago before this incident even happened, where they're hanging out. It's just a weird dynamic between father and son, I would say at the same time too. It seems like they like each other's company, or particularly Rampage does. He loves his son, but it just seems like a kind of just a weird dynamic between father and son too at the same time. So, and it's coming from a guy that has some family dysfunction as well. So that kind of thing. I don't think it does. The only positive out of this is it sets up Raja's UFC career. No, I think this ends his career, right? There's no way. I don't think you're not going to get. No, I don't think this helps him in that way whatsoever, to be honest. So there. So let me also add this. Trying to see here. Okay, so I would appreciate it. I would like it if John provided a little bit more clarity on this. John Albert, like I said, I'm friends with him. I like, he does great work with Matt, the podcast and everything like that. And I agree with what he said later on, but this is what he did put on X earlier. The texts I've gotten today so far from wrestlers regards to the Rob Van Dam comments on the Raja incident. Woof. It's just over encompassing. It's a bland statement. What comments? Was it specifically what he said in the X account, and these wrestlers who maybe have texted him did not watch the video? Is it the video? What is this that they are not doing? So I'm curious as to who texted him. Maybe I will follow up on that. Not to get names, it's none of my business, but maybe to just get some clarification on what he's referring to there. Universal disagrees with me, which is fine. I disagree. Controversy sells and opens doors. Nothing will happen to Raja. Lots of money and powerful people backing him. That's the real world we live in. If you It's a fair argument, I think. And yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if something like that happened. But if I were to wager a guess on which way this would lean, I don't think this does him favors in getting into UFC or getting a fight like that. I don't think this is a payoff for him. It's a controversial, awful situation that is not conducive to what you want to portray with your caged fighters. Somebody that loses it on a non-MMA fighter like that and just takes liberties with them. That is not a good impression for you to have, even if you're UFC. Now, granted, yes, we've seen lots of exceptions be made in UFC, sometimes in wrestling for sure too. That's the other thing. So certainly not ruling it out. But if you, like you did when you presented that first statement to me, I just feel that no, this is not helpful to his career. This is detrimental to his career of what he did. Lessons have to be learned. And if you're doing that kind of stuff, there should be no place for you to do that in an octagon either. So, all right. I think that'll do it. I think I covered a lot of what the media reacted to. Got some different perspectives on here. And appreciate everybody too chiming in. We have nearly almost 2,000 people watching live on X, YouTube, and so on and so forth. So if you're tuning in, go to brassringmedia.com. That's the YouTube channel. Over 70,000 subscribers on there. I try to do a hotline here at least a couple of days a week. I call it the daily hotline. It kind of unraveled into a few days a week or even a weekly hotline sometimes. So I just do it when I can, do it when I'm inspired to talk about some things. And I figured this was going to be a good follow-up to have happen on here. And I also want to make clear, too, that Rob is not the person to be promoting the shows, what we've talked about with Raja. Like, people are going at him saying like, oh, he's just doing this to get views on the podcast, things like that. Rob has nothing to do with any of the promotion of this. Whatever you see from its write-ups, from its graphics, from the content, and what is, you see visually, it's all me. It's all coming from me. It's not coming from Rob. Okay. So Rob is not the person to go after with that. I'm doing this. I'm talking about it. This is a podcast we have. And we're talking about it. So here it is. There's a lot of other sites that have talked about this topic in many ways. It is a hot topic on YouTube. And so here we are talking about it. It's Pro Wrestling Show podcast. And it's, that's it. So appreciate everybody tuning in. Yeah, I'm not even acknowledging that one, Deadly Cupid. Thanks for tuning in, though. So we'll see you guys next time here on the Daily Wrestling Hotline. Sign up if you're interested. Go to patreon.com, Brassring Media, if you want to get some exclusive content too as well. And just have some fun there. There's some good content that is behind that paywall. But also, just sign up, like, share, subscribe to Brassring Media, the channel itself. Help it out. I appreciate you, DJ Villain, Squared Circle Oracle. Hey, Dom, don't sweat them fools. Look, everybody's free to say what they want and express how they feel, even if they're just trolling or if they genuinely feel that way. It's totally fine. And I appreciate everybody doing it. Just doesn't mean I have to really dive into too much of it. Devonish, I'm just using Rob's account here because, we're promoting only wrestlers on here. So sometimes you'll just get me on here. Sometimes you'll get Zach, Dorn, and other stuff on here. So we've been using, sometimes it'll just be news stuff that you see on these streams. But Rob does go live, typically every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on rvdtv.com. So check out rvdtv.com right now and subscribe to that channel as well. That's where you can get the full clip of Rob talking about Raja Jackson and the thoughts on that. The full episode is up now too. So there's more little bit of topics off later on too. That's not in the clip that we do follow up with, about the Raja incident and ask some more questions and stuff like that. Could he go to prison? Some other comparisons about what else happened in wrestling and things like that too. So check it out. Both are up now. And thanks for everybody for tuning in. And remember, use 1-900-909-9900.